Smoke until a stupid state, stay until it's late. Sweet like chocolate cake, talk just like the shit I roll off paper plates. Search for sweet escape because inside I feel I'm dying slow. I tell you all this.
What is up, my dogs? How you guys doing? It's been a while since I checked in on any auction content and stuff. So I wanted to go ahead and make a video, just kind of bringing you guys up to speed on this project that I've been working on for a long time here. You can kind of see it in the back. And what it is a 1995 Chevy Astro, but a coach company called, at the time was called Provan, and they're owned by somebody different, but they're still called the same thing, built these things. And what it is it's a Tiger GT, but made by Provan. And basically what they got, and I'll flip this around here, bear with me, is they bought these pop-top RVs. Well, they bought it probably just the cab, right? And then they put all these coach-built RVs on this thing. This was number 737. I can't remember exactly how many were built, but they were expensive as hell when they were first made. And so I bought this thing probably a year and a half ago now. I used to sell air conditioning, and I was on a service call, and at the neighbor's house was this thing sitting in the driveway, and it looked like hell. And so I was like, whatever, I was in the market, I wanted to buy like another RV, left a note on it, right? And during this time I was still working on another one that I had, which was like a 23-foot Class C. Rebuilt that whole thing, sold that one for profit. And like 4 months later, this lady calls me, right? And she's like, I'm trying to get rid of it, so on and so forth. So here, I'm gonna continue the story inside real quick. But either way, I wanted to show you guys the exterior. Brand new canvas. We installed that. We replaced all that stuff. Gone through and pretty much resealed the whole thing. Brand new tires, painted everything. Rebuilt all the front suspension under it completely, like all of it. Tie rods, ball joints, dropped everything off the frame. Scrubbed the frame with a metal brush and acid. What's it called? I can't even remember the name of it right now, but either way, scrubbed everything and then recoated the whole frame, all of the suspension components, brand new shocks, everything. So it's all brand new under there. Did a brand new cooling system. So that was another thing that was on the list because it sat for so long. Who even knows? So I flushed everything really good, and the radiator's still fine, no leaks or anything. So I still used the original radiator, but I did a new water pump, thermostat, all that stuff, hoses, you name it, all that stuff's been replaced. And then the biggest thing that I had to do with this thing was a new fuel system. And so, oh shit. All right, so just to give you guys a little rundown on like everything that I've done to this thing to try to get it to where it is today. So, as I told you about the story of how I got it, this thing didn't run for 7 years. So as you could assume, you know, it probably might be locked up. You don't know. I didn't know when I bought it, you know, and then it obviously needed a new fueling system. The cooling system, all of the fluids, everything inside of it was bad, and it was. So what I did was I took this thing home and I pulled all the plugs out of it, and I just pumped all the cylinders full of Marvel Mystery Oil while I was letting it sit and work on it, because I just wanted to make sure it was going to turn over. And I didn't touch it for like probably 2 weeks or 3 weeks. And then when I finally and I put the old plugs back in just lightly so they wouldn't get any moisture inside of there. But when it was ready to turn it over, I pulled a couple of the plugs and then just tried to turn it and see if it freely went, and it spun really nicely. And I was like, first check, like frickin' A, perfect. And so I was there. That's when, you know, the whole run to try to get it to start was. So what I did was I just ordered a whole fuel system. I knew that it was going to need a fuel system. I wasn't going to dick around with everything. The fill tube that goes from like right here, under here, all the way into the gas tank, that fill tube was completely rotten. So you'd pour gas into here and it would just dump everywhere inside of there. So I ended up having to, and like I know there's a tarp on here and stuff, it's about to rain in a little bit, and I was using this ladder to fix the roof, and it's plugged in right now, has the AC on. But long story short, you couldn't put gas in this freaking thing. So that tube alone was like $100 it's a boat tube. It's like 2.5 inches freaking thick, and it goes the whole length of this thing. So that sucked. And then I did a brand new tank, new fuel pump, fuel sender, and then I purged all the lines, did a new fuel filter in line where it belongs, all the way up to the intake here. And then I pulled the intake apart and did a new spider injector system, cleaned everything up, And then when I went to crank it, it didn't want to start. And so, of course, you know, me knowing that I'm automatically, there's no way I possibly did anything wrong. I was just kind of like floored, you know? So I just started taking it back apart, and the only thing that I could come to is there's something wrong with the spider injectors that I got. They were faulty or something, like they weren't firing properly. I had fuel pressure all the way up to the rail. You can test it on the back. And I just knew that something was faulty. So I actually ended up getting a replacement one, and then it fired right up, no problem. I let it sit for like 6 months. After that, I didn't let it sit, like I didn't start it regularly, you know, and it didn't have that much gas in it. And then one day I tried to start it again. The brand new fuel pump I went in there with is bad because, and I used a cheap one to begin with. So that's why I learned my lesson on that actually. And so, you know, I put a nice AC Delco in there the last time, and it's been fine since. Brand new brakes too. I did all of the brakes, front and rear drums, new lines, everything. A new master cylinder, that's brand new. And so, you know, this thing's basically been gone through top to bottom, and I just tried to make sure that I got everything, you know. Yes, it needs paint, but it's almost patina in a sense, because this thing, it starts and runs like a top to begin with. The only problem that I'm having right now is battling wasps 24/7, because the freaking things won't leave me alone. I live in Florida, and I got this tree right above me, and there's mud wasps that make a nest up there, and they'll come down and like they sound like helicopters when they fly past your head. It sucks, dude. I just wanted to try to show you the undercarriage here. It's all been coated, done, brand new tie rods, brand new everything, pitman arm. Not the pitman arm itself, but the actually I believe the pitman arm was changed, if I remember correctly, because that has a joint on it. Anything with a joint's been replaced. Shocks are brand new. About to put some rear shocks in there, the air shocks back there. And that'll be one of the last things that it really needs for suspension. Okay, so I wanted to give you a brief look inside. I know there's a ton of stuff in here, but I mean, I've gone through a lot of stuff to try to get this all done, and I had to do this interior twice because I didn't have the top completely sealed perfectly, and it rained really hard one day, and water got in here and it ruined a bunch of stuff, so I had to fix everything because it was made of press board. So I had to rebuild basically all of the cabinetry. That one's been rebuilt, that one's been rebuilt, all this stuff. We did the countertops in here. Everything looks really dope. It's nice. You know, we did the headliner in here. So the truck headliner itself's been done. And then we also did the headliner in here. So that's the whole roof is like that. And it looks really rad. You know, it's nice in here. All the lighting's been converted to LED. So it's getting there, man. It really is. It really is. I'm getting stoked. All the flooring's plastic. It's like the waterproof ones. So pretty sick, man. So when we rebuilt these counters, I didn't want to get crazy with the coatings and stuff like that because it needed to be relatively durable. So I painted them white, I painted them blue, and then I painted them black, and then sanded down through it, and then lacquered the whole thing. So it's pretty good, and these are not pressboard obviously, so it should hold up. I'm hoping it does. I just got to build some doors for these things, and I like when the inside of the cabinets are black. I think that looks rad. So sorry there's so much stuff and tools and things everywhere. Propane system works, everything works. The pump for the sink works. All these drains have been replaced. I didn't do the lines under here, which, you know, it's probably, who knows, it might need to be done. I don't foresee somebody using this thing very much for like water. Maybe for the sink, but definitely not for the shower. This is the biggest gripe with the whole thing. I haven't cleaned this out yet. It's kind of nasty, but like, you could take a poop in there if you wanted to, you know? But if I'm peeing in here, you're gonna be able to see me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm peeing right here. This is pee. This is poop, you know? I don't foresee anybody pooping in this thing. Not even close. But to each his own, you know? Alright, so where did I leave off again? Whatever. The point behind this whole story is that I took a crapshoot. I was like, whatever, $300. I didn't know that these things were like as rare as they are. But come to find out, there's like a huge following, but not a huge following, but like a cult following behind Astros, Tiger Provans. And people love these freaking things. And so I did a whole fuel system, all this other stuff, pretty much went through the whole motor, made sure everything was as it is, did a new ignition system, you know, you name it, this thing's been done. The only problem I'm having with it now is the vacuum issue, but I'll go over that stuff later. And it's just because of cracked old stuff that I can't see. But long story short, I went through the whole thing. You know, new fuel system, new ignition system, made sure everything's working as it should be, did a new cooling system, and it started. Okay, it started and ran after 7 years. I got it to turn over after the Marvel Mystery Oil, and I knew that it was good, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna start putting some more money into it, and then finally went through it all and realized this thing starts. And boy, that was an awesome day. You know, so I honestly think that here's where I'm at on this. So I've basically gone through the whole thing. I probably spent $6 grand or $5 grand on this thing, between all of the suspension parts, all of the mechanical parts that I put into this thing, A, B, all of the, you know, work that's gone into the interior of it, time, effort, and then also the canvas was extremely expensive. You know, new roofing. We did an elastomeric roof coating on this thing, so it's good for like 20 years. I've gone through the whole thing, long story short. And I just saw a guy online sell one for 16 grand. So if I can get out for 16 on this thing, man, it'd be a good day. So that's really where my head's at right now. I kind of wanted to check in with you guys and just give you some videos and so on and so forth. So watch out for more content. I'm going to do a little video on how to change the window motor on these things, because it needs a window motor. And I'll probably do a video after this is all done, so that everybody can see like the final product and where we're at on everything. So I do appreciate y'all tagging along. Hopefully we'll have some more auction content coming back here after this, but the world is so uncertain right now. Please stay safe, you know, have some good times with your families. Hope you guys are actually making money and enjoying yourselves during this time. You know, it's a good time to try to change your life. I have more friends starting their own businesses and doing more self-employment, you know, like basically pursuing more self-employment opportunities now than ever before. So that's one plus that I'm seeing coming out of this. Thank you very much, guys. Have a good rest of your day.